Slavtcheff, Chief R&D Officer for Kimberly-Clark, and this is my partner in crime, Zack, Hicks, Chief of Technology. I want to give you a sense of basically how the company shows up. So many of you may know about our brands, but I think the first place to start is our purpose. And we call it better care for a better world. And the transformation that we've been leading over the past 5 years has really been focused on 4 key areas: better products, better planet, better workplace, and better society. And the better society bit is not just around sustainability, it's around the fact that our products, which are basically hygiene products, diapers, fem care pads, etc., really bring dignity and health care back to consumers who may not normally have it. And so that is our main purpose of the company. It's what drives a lot of our science and innovation. And throughout the years, we've been creating some of the first categories. The first fem care pad with Kotex, the first flushable wipe, et cetera, et cetera. So what we're going to talk about is the scale of global care. And this is a sense of how big the company is. Many of you may not realize the scale of it. 175 plus countries around the world. 1 in 4 people use our products daily. 20 plus billion in NSV. And within 70 countries, we're the number 1 or number 2 share position holder. With global powerhouse brands, many of which you may know: Huggies, Depends, Scott, White Ball, Cottonall, etc. And really what we're going to cover today is the intersection of data and technology and how they meet our purpose. And so we're going to share some use cases as well as the architecture behind them around how we're bringing to life the purpose of the company, intersection with technology. And this is really underscores the background of the company as being a company comprised of inventors for the last 150 plus years. Zack.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for staying here after lunch and after SAP. We appreciate it. We wanted to share a couple examples on what we're doing, real life, real use cases of how we're trying to bring AI to life in our corporate environment, and hopefully you may get some value out of it. Not all of them have been a success, but we're going to share a couple of ones that we may think that may be relevant to you. And as you can imagine, Craig just talked about we're a 150-year-old company. So what that meant was we have a lot of data all over the place. And being number 1 or number 2 in 70 markets, that really resulted in a lot of localization. And so the biggest thing we had to do was to begin to orchestrate and have a unified data model. It seems like there's a lot of vendors out there that are bringing AI to even automating this. But this was kind of a heavy lift for us. It was trying to clean up and standardize the data, but also taking a longer term view of how do we orchestrate this. So not only are we bringing in internal data sets, we're bringing in external data sets. We brought in the concept of having agentic AI, say 1 for demand planning, 1 for R&D, and then how do we orchestrate that together? And so bringing that together, you can see kind of at the bottom some of the tools that we use, like OpenAI, to bring it together. I'm not going to make it a tech talk, but then we wanted to just kind of share this was the foundation. As most AI efforts, the heavy lifting really comes from organizing the data. Once you've got that data, then the world is your oyster. So while we're going to talk about some of the innovation, we do try to tie everything we do back into making the world a better place. We're very connected with our mission, and so you'll see some of that coming to life. And in fact, I think, Craig, you got a great example that we're going to be starting off with.
Sure. So this is about accelerating pioneering innovation. And why the word accelerating? Currency in the realm is now speed. Let me give you an example. In consumer packaged goods, you kind of had this old adage that if you were in second in market, you could probably guarantee you're going to get 40% of the spoils. That was a general truth that folks kind of led to. In the new world where social selling and e-commerce is driving lots of the volume, in fact, there are some countries such as Korea where the diaper category doesn't even exist in brick and mortar. All of it, the whole volume is sold online. And in online, because of the way the algorithms grow, and basically they reward the first market. So the general convention has shifted where if you're second in the market in an e-commerce based market, the best you're going to get is 10%, which is basically not worth getting out of bed for. And so this is where we definitely talk around speed and acceleration of our innovation pipelines is critical to driving the brands and delighting consumers. And so that's where speed comes into play, and that's where AI has been a key enabler for us. Just to give you one example. everyone. So thank you for the host for the reusable water bottles. Single-use plastic is an issue across every industry, every country, every geography, and it's really everyone's challenge, right? So there are streams of work going on to figure out how do you get plastic that biodegrades, is biocompostable, is biocircular, and we are among that crew that's actually doing that kind of work. But it's a big challenge trying to get a resin that can actually produce a material that goes into a diaper or a feminine care pad or an adult incontinence product. And so we've developed a new real-world plastic solution using machine learning to augment the human capabilities that we have with our scientists. And this is a traditional machine learning model where you build a model with 90% of the data as a test model. You then run it and you modify it and optimize it for 10%, and then you get 3% error on the back end. Once the model is set up, you can rapidly screen a wide range of polymer solutions. And so this is done in partnership with one of our external partners, where we actually use them as a digital lab assistant. And so they would instruct the next generation of experiments to be done to perform and expand out on the polymer. We are now screening through 20,000 polymers. We explored 2,400 formulations and identified 18 new polymers that are suited for intellectual property coverage and scale up. So just a great example of taking a machine learning model and actually creating a digital lab assistant to help guide the development. Another example I'll share is really rooted in manufacturing. Zack, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, so this is cool. I think you see a lot of examples around here, but there's a lot where we're seeing AI being used in the manufacturing environment. And this was one where we had some early success. We did this about almost 2 years ago, where when we're making tissue, like toilet tissue or bath tissue, we have the machines test the quality of the tissue every 30 seconds. And we thought, can we put some AI in between those 30 seconds? And by doing that, we were able to create better and stronger tissue, but we used on one line 65,000 pounds less of chemicals. So it was better for the environment and created a better quality product and actually lowered our cost. So this was something that we saw early out of the gate. I will tell you though, our first times that we were trying it, we were getting the wrong answers. And the business kind of wanted to step away. And that was a place where having the partnerships between technology and the business really leaning in to come up with the solution and continue to optimize the models, we were able to get to value.
So one of the benefit things about being a company that's been around for 154 years is you've got reams and reams of data, reams and reams of experiments from those who've come before you in the past. The challenge has always been, how do you collect that data, codify it, stratify it, and then be able to access it. And it's really around strengthening our collective intelligence, so that to be able to think about the 1,400 R&D scientists, designers, engineers that operate within Kimberly-Clark's environment, and how do you connect them in a way that they have access to the past, really more than a century of work. So this is a tool that we built, and most folks have a knowledge management tool. The exciting thing about this one that I'm going to share is that we have 75% utilization on a monthly basis, which means 3/4 of the 1,400 scientists and engineers are accessing and leveraging the tool, and this is something we've only built in the past year. So let me just show you with you what we affectionately call Dora. cross a lot of stuff out. But the cool thing about this was developed in partnership with a partner who actually has a booth here. I won't call them out by name, but they know who they are. The amazing thing, beyond the obvious functionality, is that it allows you also to map out the domains of experts. So you have a landscape of expertise and nodes of experience that then quickly get to better problem solving. So this is already accelerating our innovation pipeline, mainly through getting to faster designs, faster access to data. We've got a number of use cases that come against it. The second generation of this, and we call this democratizing our knowledge, is being able to take subject matter experts. And, when you have a company that's this old, you tend to have folks who've been around for quite a while, and many of them are arguably the world's foremost knowledge base in a certain category. So whether it be absorbent core for a diaper, whether it be tissue manufacturing. And so the notion of being able to take their knowledge, codify it, and then democratize it across the company becomes a really big bogey for us. And that's what we did with this next one, which we affectionately call Avatar Academy. So let me just set this up. This gentleman is Tom Merrill. He's what we call a product steward lead for feminine care, which means he's responsible for standardizing and getting best practice for feminine care napkins across the globe. He is constantly barraged with requests for information, like what about this grade of super absorbent polymer, what about this grade of fluff, et cetera, et cetera. And so we've actually created, using the Dora tool, an avatar of Tom, and this is what it kind of looks like.
I'm Tom Merrill, and I am the leader of our adult care and feminine care product steward team. Today, I'm going to provide an overview of the fundamentals of absorbency that deliver the protection our consumers expect from our brands. 吸收性在我们的女性护理产品中至关重要，以满足消费者的需求。我们在设计女性护理产品的吸收系统时使用6个指导原则。Fluid intake. The product must quickly capture and release fluid into the product. Distribution. The absorbent system should spread fluid across the product. Fluid retention. The pad should retain fluid at the bottom to maximize capacity utilization and manage stains. Odor and stain control. Mask stains and smells. Fit.
Okay, you get the point. So Tom obviously is not fluent in Mandarin and English. So that's the beauty of an avatar, is you can basically take your script, you can pull your script from the Dora tool. So you ask Dora, write me a script on how to build an absorbent pad for femcare in Malaysia. You'll get the script, you'll have Tom the avatar read the script in Mandarin or Malay or whatever language you need, 140 languages around the world. So we are just now starting the journey with using these avatars. We have 25 of our top subject matter experts built in, and now they are already starting to get used in this format. So this is another tool we're using to democratize knowledge.
All right, so one more example I'll give you on the marketing side, which you may find interesting. We were trying to solve the problem of, as you know right now, Google and TikTok say you need about 24 posts or content, usually videos, a week. And if you scale that out, it's no longer affordable to be doing this with external agencies. We're also trying to figure out how to create a content factory. How do we benchmark? How's our content comparing to other people's content? And then how do I decode? Why is their content or our content performing better? We need to understand what are those attributes. We also then need to generate new and relevant ads or videos at the right time for the right audience, and then to amplify it to figure out where are those communities that want to engage with our products. How do we find them and to give them the right content at the right time? And then how do I measure that success? And we were able to do that, and we were able to create our content 10 times cheaper and do it 3 times faster. And this is pretty early out of the box. We call it Sophie, and instead of me talking about it, let's have Sophie explain what she does.
Hi, I'm Sophie, Casey's marketing co-pilot. I decode viral trends, deliver instant insights, and help you craft campaigns that truly captivate. My image suite lets you create and edit images in seconds, change backgrounds, outpaint, product placements, apply precise edits with a magic brush, and build composites by blending reference images. Bring your products to life with stunning animations and on-brand videos for any platform. With just a click, I can recreate, repurpose, and localize your content across formats and regions, amplifying your reach instantly. Every piece of content I create is measured for quality and performance, so it's not just creative, it's compelling. Ready to transform your marketing? Let's decode, create, and go viral.
So, Zach, let me set up the next one because if you saw the bear, we don't have a bear as a mascot within our brand portfolio, if you know our brands. But one of the unique consumer needs for feminine care in Southeast Asia is actually cooling. Because of these hot, humid environments, it becomes a benefit where freshness and odor control is a big benefit for consumers. So, what did we do with the bear, Zach?
Yeah, so before you do that, I just wanted to wrap up on that end-to-end. So you're familiar with a lot of the tools that are out there, with Google generates images, where you've got tools like Pencil, but it was tough to find something that went end-to-end that gave us that capability of identifying the market space, creating the videos, being able to measure it and bringing it together. And this was done internally with a few of our amazing talent in our innovation lab. So that's the power of these tools, and you can get to the value much quicker. And thanks to what Greg was just saying, so one of the examples, we were trying this tool out, and we were working with our the advertising team and the marketing team in Korea, and they wanted to share exactly that, like they wanted to message a product that was cooling and then still was active. And we asked them, like, what's the creative brief you're thinking about? And they wanted a cute bear that was skiing. And so you can see that it generated this, and this actually took off really well. And so the cool thing is we were able to then reuse this image in variations of it in multiple markets. And this was at a fraction of the cost and the speed. And what I liked about it was that the people that would that had the ideas would maybe have to work with the ad agency, who would try to come back with some creative briefs. This was giving more creativity and the power in the hands of the users that had the ideas. And so we're able to leverage our talent a lot better by leveraging some of these tools. And so, as we look towards the future, we're hoping that this is the foundation in the beginning. Craig is certainly a great example of a business leader leading in leveraging technology to get to new results. Craig, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, and we're excited about it because the speed, like I said, is critical to winning in our categories. And we are all about bold new categories. And we have a history of 7 of the world's biggest categories in hygiene were created by Kimberly-Clark. And it's also going to reimagine how we develop our wiring across the global organization. So let me give you an example of how the product steward construct is allowing us to scale innovations that are successful in one market and then get them across the globe. Our history in that area was not great. Our track record it took us 20 years to get into 3 different markets with a single platform technology. Now we are scaling out in 57 markets in 18 months, being driven by these connecting tools that we've been developed on the shoulders of AI.
And that's it. Thanks for engaging us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.